It is time now to know what's on the front pages of the Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio Jeers Ologun, lawyer and social development advocate, as well as Tunji Abdulhamid, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. Thank you, sir.
Right. All right, let's head straight to the papers now, and I begin with the Daily Times. Kudos knocks as Buhari removes service chiefs. Kudos knocks as Buhari removes service chiefs. You find that story on the front page of the Daily Times. To the front page of the Blueprint now. Nigerians set agenda for service chiefs, hit the ground running, ensure paradigm shift. That's what they are asking the new service chiefs to do. They are setting agenda for the new service chiefs. You find that story on the front page of the Blueprint. On the front page of the Leadership newspaper, in major shake-up, Irabo, Atahiru, Amo, Gambo emerge new service chiefs. You find the story on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. To the national economy now, CBN retains NPR at 11.5%, may modify LDR, CRR, if growth outlook deteriorates. That story on the front page of the national economy. To Business Day now, local investors flock to stocks at a fastest pace since the 2008 crash. Local investors flock to stocks at fastest pace since 2008 crash. That story on the front page of the Business Day. To the Nigerian News Direct now, Buhari appoints new service chiefs. Political parties, senators, others react. Right. And to the front page of the Daily Trust now, still talking about the appointment of new service chiefs. Rough road ahead as new service chiefs take charge. Why Buhari bow to pressure on Burate others. What we expect from them, Nigerians. That story on the front page of the Daily Trust. What Nigerians' expectation is what you find on the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's quickly move to the Punch now. 20 generals may go as Buhari replaces Burate service chiefs. Causes 34 and 35 members to be worst affected. Army chief to retain some. President failed on security, says ACF. And forum praise for new service chiefs. Buhari is still loaded with nepotism, says Afenifere. Faults Southeast exclusion. All right. Let's quickly move now to the front page of the Nation newspaper. What we expect from new service chiefs by Nigerians. Generals, leaders, lawmakers, others set agenda. There will be fresh onslaught, says presidency. That story you find on the front page of the Nation newspaper. All right. And finally, on the front page of the Guardian newspaper now, Jeers hope as new service chiefs take over. We hope new service chiefs will justify Buhari's confidence in them, ACF. Nothing special, Afenifere. Wrong not to have Southeast appointee, Middle Belt Forum. Middle Belt Forum, Pandev Lords Buhari, Modo disdains non-appointment of Igbo as service chiefs. APC expresses confidence in new service chiefs. PDP fires one probe of ex-service chiefs. That story you find on the front page of the Vanguard. And that is where we'll take it, looking at developments from yesterday. The story on all of the front pages of the paper, almost all the pages of the papers this morning, talking about the appointment of new service chiefs. Some persons say finally the president bowed to pressure. There has been calls over the years that the president, change the service chiefs, and we saw that happen yesterday. For some other persons, they feel that the time it isn't coming at the right time. But I wonder, diverse reaction coming from different angles when it comes to different sections of the society. But I wonder what your reaction to this new development is, the appointment of new service chief. I'll start with you, Jeers Ologun.
If I should echo Femi Adesina, that the president considers that the time for change has come.
Yes.
To introduce new ideas, new blood. And firstly, it in response to the pressure from these major stakeholders in Nigeria for changing the service chiefs, which has been driven by the state of insecurity in the nation. And I must say I'm happy eventually the president has accepted the resignation of the service chief, because that is the top line report we are having, and new ones are coming in. But then performance and expectations should come in here. Recall also that when you look at the police, the former Inspector General of Police, Jeers, handed over to Adamu in 2019, and I doubt if we have witnessed any tremendous positive change. So right now, it's still on the table of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces whether to improve the security situation in Nigeria or it will be business as usual. And that is why you have divergent.
Move by him, isn't it showing that he wants to improve, stemming from what Femi Adesina said?
Basically, it's beyond
The
intentions.
change.
I mean, let's go back to pre-2015. There were 3 cardinal promises: to improve the economy, to fight corruption, and to restore security. And down the line, economically speaking, we've had 2 recessions, even though the government has put in the best. And when you talk about corruption, recently there has been reports of sustained corruption against the economy of the nation. And of course, if you talk about insecurity, my president himself said, recently that when he came in, he inherited Boko Haram, which was operational within the Northeast, the Bay region, the Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa and Yobe. But today, he's beginning to deal with banditry, kidnappings, and if you consider the fact that as at that point in time, these activities of insurgency in quote were limited to the northeastern part of the country, and if you evaluate what we've had in the last 1 week, I think all parts of the country are groaning from massive insecurity. So if you were to be in the boardroom and you want to do returns on investment, I think it will be like when we closed our borders, reopened the borders with no gain, no much gains to present. So I want to see a situation where the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces ensures that by the instrumentality of his leadership office, we have positive change, because he said that the outgoing service chiefs have contributed overwhelmingly in giving us, enduring peace. We need enduring peace in the land, and that is why we have the Commander-in-Chief. Leadership is about mobilizing, influencing, and working with others to ensure that goals that are set are achieved. And security and the welfare of the people remains the primary purpose of government under Section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. So we wish this new change the best.
All right, let's get Tunji Abdulhamid's perspective now. Are you confident that injecting these fresh ideas will see the needed change when it comes to fighting insecurity?
Confident, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, I can be confident.
All right.
I can be. Because let me first of all say that, look, the resignation and acceptance by the President of the Service Chiefs is a welcome development to me. Right. Because it's been long overdue. And I'm happy that at last the Service Chief heeded to the clarion call of the people. I will not agree that they were, I will not praise the President for that, because I was not told they were sacked or they were removed. They resigned, that's what we were told. Yeah. So the accolades not go to the President to say, thank God the President has heeded to our request. He has not. He allowed them to do what they want to do. And when they feel that, when they were sure that they cannot go forward again, he said to, whether there's a politics around it, whether they were told to do that, that will not be my own position yet. What I'm seeing is that we were told they resign. Be that as it may, I said that I don't have confidence that this may change much, because not because the caliber of people that have been put in place are not capable, or those who have left are not good enough to do. They've done their best. They did what they can do in the circumstance, but their best was not even good enough. I was not good enough. The President confirmed that twice, that their what's it called? Their efforts were not
achieving what we wanted.
Because if you are there, no matter how effort you made and there's no result, or the result is not up to the maximum that we are expecting. As far as I'm concerned, you have not done enough. So why I said I'm not confident is that because if you change the personnel and those things that are causing the problem are still there, have not been addressed, why are we where we are? We are where we are today because we don't have enough personnel to fight the insurgency. Are we making enough recruitment? Have we done enough recruitment of our personnel to be able to confront the Boko Haram or whoever they are confronting, the insurgency? Have we provided enough war equipment or fighting equipment for them? Do we have enough now? I'm not sure we are doing much in that regard. I'm not sure that we have been given we now have modern equipment to find them. We have been waiting for the Tucano fighter jet, which is one of the equipment they are trying to do. This is over 2 years now or more, and we have been told that it's been delayed probably because there is nowhere to be parked or something like that. I'm not so sure of that. That means we did not even do our planning very well. So if you change a car that is bad, you try to paint the body, and the engine still remains the way it is there. You have not done much. You've only show people that you have a flashy car outside, but inside there's nothing. So if we don't do things that we're supposed to do, like ensuring that adequate welfare for our personnel, that is, I'm talking about those who are in the forefront of the war,
right?
Ensuring we have enough war equipment or fire insurgency to fight insurgency, ensuring that things are done, ensuring that look, people are arrested and brought to book. Because I'm not aware that one particular or strong member of Boko Haram or any of the insurgencies or whatever have been arrested and given a necessary punishment. I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware that so one of them since 2000 and what's it called before before the.
So are you pointing to those who have come out as repentant, as we call them, repentant Boko Haram terrorists that come out to say that they are giving up?
We have discussed. I'm not even talking about those ones too. Even those ones. How can you say somebody who have been alleged to have been destructive to say he has repented and is now a born again and you are now giving everything that you want? Yeah, he wanted. Can we also say Evans and other people, if they say we are sorry, we should just leave them and say they have repented? So what I'm saying is that look, you cannot have, in as much as I appreciate the change, because the change will bring in a new
idea,
but it's temporary. That's why I say I'm not. It's just to be temporary. Just to be temporary. For a week or month.
I wonder why you say it's temporary.
When they come in, if like you don't have equipment to work, all right, and you are put in place.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't set an agenda for them to hit the ground.
Agenda is a different thing.
All right, let's quickly go on a short break. We will return to talk more on the newspaper review. Do stay with us. And at this point, we're still looking at the front pages of the newspaper. I still have my guest in the studio, Tunji Abdul Hamid and Jide Olugun, talking to us about the stories on the front pages of the papers, especially one of the major stories which has to do with the appointment of new service chiefs. And before we went on the break, Tunji Abdul Hamid was reacting to the question of if he's confident that if he's expecting much from this new service chief. And before we went on, I also mentioned, does that mean that we shouldn't set an agenda for them if they have limited resources, like you were trying to point out?
What I highlighted earlier on are part of the agenda. In other words, the agenda for the government is to ensure that, look, the people you don't put people into war without giving them the
right equipment.
You don't put people into the war without giving them welfare packages. You know, the people, I will be in the forefront of the war and I'll be thinking of how my children will eat and how
That's on the part of government now.
Those are agenda.
But on the part of the people who have been saddled with this responsibility, how should they hit the ground?
It's to ensure that all this is done. That's the only way you can hit the ground running. There's no way you can hit the ground running if there's no equipment. If there's no welfare, if there's no personnel to be used, or the personnel are not happy, there's no way you can hit the ground running. So if these are the agenda the government should look into. In other words, we should put, it's not only about changing the service chief. The service chief alone will not be the one to go to war. There are people, they will use people to do it. And these people, if the people are not happy, Can you get them to do anything that even if you have the agenda, if you have the program, if you have the figure, if you have everything you have, without their commitment? So and you can only be committed if you know that, look, you are safe in terms of insurance, in terms of equipment, in terms of other things. That's when you can give your whole. So it's not about whether the service chief, he will not go to war. He will just be in his office and be giving authority. And then the people that will be there.
So these are the things they should look into.
They should be looking into that.
All right, let's get your perspective to that aspect in terms of setting an agenda, how they should hit the ground running.
My concern really is about President Muhammadu Buhari.
Oh.
Now service chiefs are gone. And he appointed them in the year 2015. And of course, he extended their stay. And he did that under the revised harmonized terms and conditions of the armed forces 2017. You had that of 2012. And now they have gone. Do you know that in 20 years' time, you may not remember the service chiefs, but you still remember that Muhammadu Buhari was the president of Nigeria between this time frame. So what does he want to achieve?
Right.
What has he achieved between 2015? I mean, he has a brilliant historical opportunity of coming back the second time to manage Nigeria. These are critical issues for me. You look, I was doing a study on Paul Kagame. Go and look at the transformational leadership dividends that has been delivered to
the people.
Rwanda. He banished ethnicity. He developed opportunities for prosperity, and that is what I have said it. The primary purpose of government is security and welfare, to engender peace. And it is the commander-in-chief that gives the commands. He can delegate. You look at Section 218 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. He is mandated to use the armed forces to achieve a particular result. He has been using the constitutional powers and, so I want to see a Nigeria where we have a reasonable level of security that is the forerunner of prosperity. And let's go to perception management in public relations. As at today, as against the expectations in 2015, many have the perception that the president is practicing nepotism, that the president is favoring a class of people in Nigeria. I'm talking of perception now.
Yeah.
Some people have assumed that, okay, he's not interested in fighting crime. You look at the recent cases. I like practical cases. In Ondo State, the governor issuing that the headers should come and register. The headers belong to his own clan. Look at what happened in Oyo State. And like Barrister Abdulhamid brilliantly mentioned, it's not just about the HR rejigging. What about the infrastructural backup to enable them win? Can we boast now that the military has more sophisticated weapons than the terrorists? And reports have shown us.
Right.
So these are all the issues. So I want to advise again that my president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, should probably ask Femi Adesina or Shehu Gaba to update him on the management by objective principles of Peter Drucker that says you set smart objectives, objectives that are specific, that are measurable, that are attainable, that are realistic, and time-bound. What do we see in July 2021? Can we say that in July 2021, Jide Ologun can wake up by 4 a.m. and say, I'm going to my lovely hometown, the capital of the world, Okakoko, to just go and eat pounded yam, and I'm not afraid of kidnappers? Can we say now that there won't be another Sunday, something somewhere that will rise up to the occasion? And when we talk about scarce resources, resources will always be scarce. So it's a matter of decision to say, I want to be recorded on the golden side of history.
Right.
What are the resources available to Sunday Igboho? It's a huge embarrassment to the country. And the citizen will rise up, and you can see now what we are beginning to have. In the same military has been in Olu trying to, exercise their powers. Soldiers have been killed by terrorists that we have deliberately decided to call insurgency. Insurgency is that you are fighting for a cause. What cause are they fighting for? You see, so we need to look at all this and be able to say, 2023 is just how many years away, to say that I have delivered on security and the welfare improvement of Nigerians according to the Constitution. Before we are not even talking about secondary level. Go and study Rwanda. Paul Kagame migrated that region from the primary level of prosperity to the secondary level of industrialization. So, and that's what we want to see. It goes beyond. And do you know that if you do all this, people will focus less on this nepotism? I don't want to know where the chief of army staff is from.
Right.
Deliver. Unfortunately for my president now, and I hope those who are advising him are listening, the people you have appointed, they have the qualifications in terms of education, international and everything. How do you harness these resources to achieve your own vision? What is the vision of my president? I mean, he still reminded us recently when they were doing the assessment of the African after or something, that he still focused on security, fighting corruption, and improving the economy. So do you want to achieve that extensively before you leave office? Because eventually, history is not lousy.
All right.
History is not in the open, but history is recording. Buratai may not be remembered as having served as service chiefs. I mean, I can throw that question on this table now. Who was the service chief during Second Republic of Shehu Shagari? I mean, I don't want to bother myself, but I will always remember that Shehu Shagari was the president of Nigeria in the Second Republic. Right. And that is where I pitch my tent.
Let's quickly get your reaction.
I tell you, I can't remember the service chief during the latter. Even the first regime of Baba Buhari, except they were still the same people who just left. I can tell you that. I can't remember. But
These ones came in 2015.
As the president of the...
It was on my birthday, I think July 22 of 2015.
Like I said, what Vice Logun said, they are very germane, and those are the things we are looking for. But those things can be achieved only if there is political will. If there is political will, we can achieve all this. Why we are where we are today is because the political will is not there. We tend to pander to ethnicity, sentiment, and all those things in doing most of the things we are doing. You see, I said political will because I will always make reference to this situation. Build up to the 2015 election. 2 weeks to the election or so, there was an alarm or that election may not hold somewhere in Borno or whatever because of the insurgency or whatever. Give me 2 weeks. That's what the president said. Give us 2 weeks. Within that 2 weeks, everywhere was okay for them to do the election. So that's why I said, if there's a political way, all the issue of lack of facility, lack of infrastructure, lack of adequate welfare, lack of whatever, it will be taken care of. Right. Because I'm not sure we have the political will to, or I'm not sure people want their name to be written in good or anyway. Maybe that is the issue. They are only contented with I am this, I am that, I am this and that. That's all.
And not writing their name in history.
We also need to work on the morale. You know, about 127 soldiers resigned recently from service, and I think in July 2020, about 356 stepped aside. And you also will connect with the fact that there was a massive shake-up within the system. So we need to boost the morale. I am confident of the capacity of the Nigerian military, the armed forces, to stampede this terrorism against Nigeria and deliver on security. I am confident about that. Going by our historical antecedents, I tie myself with that political will, and I take it back to the table of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Right. The Femi Adeshinas, the Shehu Gabas may still be spokespersons for other presidents in the future. But history only has the slot for President Muhammadu Buhari as the president of Nigeria between 2015 and 2023 if he does not seek a third term. So what do we fill into the space to reckon with as achievements of this regime? Right. I want this regime to succeed. I love Nigeria. I love my president. And this is another opportunity to tell Nigerians and the world that a change can really take place and not just a camouflage change.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Jide Ologun, as well as Tunji Abdul Hamid. Thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Nigeria.